My name is Francine Kaplan. I designed this course. Am I in your way? Okay. I designed this course. This is a traditionally an 8-hour course. It's broken up into part 1 and part 2. Part 1, we talk about the different personalities in the workplace, which is what I'm going to be discussing with you now. I don't have enough time to get into what part 2 is, but part 2 focuses on the most difficult personality type that your people will be dealing with, and what to do when those behaviors get a little bit uncontrollable. How do we work through those situations? So I don't think we'll get to that just yet, but just so you have an overview of what this is about. You can take it in 2 parts, you can just take 1 part, but it's up to you. Anyway, what do I hope that your people get out of a course like this is not necessarily to stereotype any one employee, but it's an overall generalization, a broad generalization of 5 different kinds of people that we all work with. Each one of these 5 personalities are valuable to the organization, okay? This is not talking about those that are so problematic that we have issues with them outside of what we can handle. So I'm hoping to identify, to help you identify the different kinds of personalities of your coworkers. And I will say this goes on 2 levels. This is not just about your coworkers, but also about the consumers with whom you deal with on a regular basis. And we discuss that at length. I would hope that during the course of the first 4 hours, you think about, without naming anybody, you know, John and Mary and Denise and Stephanie, and the thoughts that should be going through your mind as we have this conversation is, yes, they may be difficult. Yes, they're valuable. How can I do better at making the relationship work? And that's what we hone in on. So there are 5 identified types of behaviors all over the place, not just in the workplace, at home as well, and in our personal lives. They are, on the far left, we have the passive behavior. We have the aggressive behavior. We have the assertive behavior, which is exactly in the center of the spectrum for a reason. We have the passive aggressive behavior. And then we have what we call the alternator behavior. And we're going to talk about my experience with Suzanne, who fits in the very first category of the passive coworker. So I work with a woman. She's wonderful. She's lovely. She's difficult. What makes her so difficult is that she kind of is always apologizing for her behavior. She's not very forthcoming. She's always hesitant. She's not certain. She's not sure. And on certain days of our work life, we need people to be sure. We need people to believe in what they say. We don't want people to waver. We want people to sound convincing and to be confident in their ability to perform. And oftentimes, the Suzannes in the group make it a difficult team. It makes it very difficult to function when someone is so uncertain and so unsure. So, I'm sure we can all think of that personality in our day-to-day. And I ask, what do you do with them? How do you handle the Suzannes of your organizations? Anybody want to share? First of all, let me ask you, is it a problem for anybody? What makes it a problem?
Well, I mean, if someone's passive and you have work to get done and that person is not producing anything or doesn't do anything because they're being passive, that's problematic. Work isn't getting accomplished.
Okay. In other words, oftentimes what they'll do is they'll take on a lot. They'll say, sure, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, because they're afraid of being rejected. They're afraid. I'm sorry?
Or they don't take on anything, meaning that they're finished with whatever it is they're doing, and there's more work to be done, but they're waiting for someone to come to them and ask them to help.
Okay, so that's difficult when you have a very fast-paced environment, right? How do we handle those situations? Now, that person is not a devalued employee. When they do their job, they do it well. No one is saying that. They do add value to the organization, but perhaps it's not as fast-paced as we would like it, or it is not as initiated, self-initiated as we would need it to be. And that becomes difficult. So, what do you do with them? Anybody?
Work with building their confidence.
Okay.
Try to maybe give them some projects that will help them, like with their shortcomings, and try to be more vocal and
Okay.
help them along the way.
So let's do this. Let's have this role play between you and I. What is your name? I'm sorry.
Paula.
Paula. Okay. So, Paula, I'm Suzanne, and you need to speak to me. What are you going to say to me? What is the initial problem, and what are you going to say to me?
Okay. Suzanne, I noticed that you were not very confident presenting the project that you were working on within the team last week, and I wanted to point out a few things that I noticed that you could have touched on that I did notice you worked really hard on. You worked extra hours. You were focused on completing this project, but yet you were unsure on how to explain that to the team. And I think next time you should really try to focus on those things and present them to the team so that you can better demonstrate how well you worked on this project, because I know you did, and you did a great job.
I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But you shouldn't feel sorry.
So let's just stop right there. So what are some of the things? You're laughing at me. So what are some of the problems here? The problem is, first of all, I'm not looking at you, right? We're not having that connection, okay? And we need to be able to have that connection. So the things that you need to be thinking about is, how are you going to engage me? What do you need to do to make me comfortable so that I can have that eye contact with you? Because if you don't have eye contact with either your employees or your consumers, you really can't establish a relationship with them. And you're going to have this repeated problem on and on and on. The second problem that you had with me, is that I spoke like a child. I kept apologizing. Instead of listening to what you were saying to me and being an interactive adult, trying to figure out how we can do better together, all I did was apologize to you. Problematic. It's a big problem. I'm a good person. I'm a good worker, okay? But I am not efficient, and I'm holding down the team from doing what they need to do. So these are the kinds of things. I could go on and on with you and me on this one, but I can't. So this is what we talk about. We do a lot of role plays with the passive coworker, and we talk about what we can do to help them along and get them to come out of their shell, so to speak, to be a little more assertive. Okay? These are some things that they will say. They'll apologize. They'll agree that they're stupid, which is not what we want them to do. We want them to do more. We want them to be assertive. We want them to be more of a team player, okay? The second kind of coworker or consumer that we deal with is the Derricks of the group, okay? We call him the aggressive coworker, and everybody's smirking and laughing because we all know right away when I say the word aggressive, we know who they are. We can easily identify them in a group. They're tough to work with, okay? They want it to be the Derrick show, quite honestly. They want it all to revolve around them, and they don't care about being a team player. They're looking to advance themselves. Very hard. It's okay if you're running your own practice, you're running your own company, but when everyone depends on each other, it's very hard to work with an egocentric type personality. It also makes it real tough when they don't have your back. You can't work in an organization where people don't have each other's backs. It's tough. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy environment. Okay, so let's talk about a hypothetical that we go through. In each of these hypotheticals, this course is designed to do a lot of role plays, okay? Because we as supervisors, managers, and trainers, we get stuck. We don't always have the right answers, and it's only when we can bounce ideas off of each other that we can learn and grow and maybe try to do something else that's better than what we've been doing in the past. So there are monthly meetings that take place at 9 in the morning. Trevor sends out an email indicating that Monday's meeting will take place at 8 due to a conflict he has. Julie texts Derek on Sunday night and asks, what time is the meeting tomorrow? Because she remembers there's a time change, but she's just not sure what it is. Derek tells her, on purpose, the meeting's at 10. So guess what happens? Julie's not there, right? She gets there at 10. She says, oh my gosh, what happened to everybody? Okay? Derek. Not a good feeling kind of person to be working with. What do you do with the Dereks of the group? We do role plays. We talk about what Derek needs so that he can grow into the organization. What is he lacking? And how can we help him? Okay? So we have the far left. We have the next one, the aggressive, and we have the center, which is the assertive coworker. Okay? So let's just talk about the fact that everyone, all of us, strive to be and to have the people in our team be the assertive coworker. It's the model. It's the middle of all of the spectrum. It's who we all strive to be. And I'm going to say something else about that. There's a university upstate New York, and when I pulled up into the campus lot, there were these flags waving all over the place. They were gold and blue flags. And they had this word flying, it said Meliora. And I looked at it once, I looked at it twice, and I said, oh my God, I should know what that word means. I don't know what that word means. What does that word mean? It turned out it's Latin for ever better. And the goal in every organization is to strive to be ever better. To make mistakes, okay? It's okay to make mistakes, so long as you don't make those same mistakes next year, next month, next week. Make different mistakes, but not those same mistakes. And those are the principles upon which this course is designed. It's to teach the Dereks and the Suzannes to be better, right? Maybe they don't know what they're doing, maybe they're unaware of their behavior, maybe no one has ever had this conversation with them. It's to identify what's holding them back, what's problematic in their behavior, and to help them move towards a way where they can be ever better and be a better team player. So the idea here is the assertive coworker is always striving not only to be ever better, but to be thinking about who they want to be in the organization. So who are they going to be? Are they going to be the monster, where they're going to say everything that's on their mind in a very assertive way? Not so much, because nobody really likes to walk down the hall and be addressed by a monster, right? That doesn't get you very far. Do they want to be a mouse like Suzanne and really never say anything and brush everything under the rug and just, no, that's not healthy, right? So what our goal is to help our team members be the me, to be able to speak up for themselves in a clear, respectful, courteous way so that they can be ever better on the team. We go through a few hypotheticals about that. Then we have the fourth kind of behavior, which is the alternator behavior. Those are the people that there's an expression that you blow hot and cold. Some days you're on, some days you're friendly, some days you're approachable, and some days they don't know you. They won't say hello to you. What are you laughing about? You know who those people are? Okay, so that's what it is. Those people, I will say, are one of the hardest kinds of people to deal with because they're not consistent, and because they're not consistent, they're not dependable. That's a problem. To be on a team, you need to have dependable, consistent people. So we'll talk about ways that maybe we can incentivize them. And I'll tell you that a lot of the times, people don't know how they're behaving, right, until they hear it. The fifth most difficult personality to deal with, and it's upon which the next 4-hour course is based, is the passive-aggressive coworker. They're hostile. They hold us back, oftentimes, right? They are the aggressor type personality. Now, we don't know where it comes from. We don't know what's going on in their lives. We have to think about that. We have to be a little empathetic on some level to think about where they're coming from. Maybe not to know exactly where they're coming from, but not everybody comes from the same place. And oftentimes, where you come from will affect your performance during the day. So we need to maybe take a few moments to think about what's going on in their personal lives that affects their behavior in this way. And we go through a whole bunch of hypotheticals. The first 4 hours is designed to go through hypotheticals because even managers and supervisors, we get stuck. We don't know. Sometimes we just don't know what to do. We have people coming to us and they say, listen, I don't know what to do with Derek. I tried this, I tried this, I tried this, and we sit there and we also don't know what to do. So we brainstorm, we think about different ways to change the behavior a little bit so that it helps the productivity of our organization. Yes?
Does this program also help with dealing with like unions, like Derek and these type of workers, how to deal with them when they're protected by a union?
I say conflict management is a really much better
That's why I'm
course for
asking.
that, okay?
It's tough.
They do. It's tough. Unions are a very difficult group of people because, you know, there's always that dichotomy between managers and union people. So I would say that it can't hurt. A course like this helps us all think about the Dereks and the Suzannes of the organization and maybe will give us, listen, if you can pull one or two good things out of a conversation, then it winds up being worth it, right? So I'm sure when you all leave today, you're going to think who the Dereks are and who the Suzannes are of your organization. And I hope this helps all of you. So thank you very much for your time.